The former president took to his social media platform called Truth Social, asking why the indictment was put out a day after the, quote, crooked Joe Biden scandal, then proclaimed the nation was in decline. We've brought in former U.S. Attorney John Fishwick into the studio to talk to us about the indictment tonight. John?
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. And John, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. So we've got this case against the former president. Serious charges. I've just got some of the language here. Using dishonesty, fraud, and deceit to obstruct the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the election. Conspiracy to impede the January 6th congressional proceeding. Conspiracy against the right to vote and have that vote counted. Obstruction of the certification of the electoral vote. That all sounds very serious. How strong legally is the case here, and how much of that is political and how much is breaking the law?
Great question, John.
Yeah.
So the allegations are very serious against former President Trump. The allegations in this case concern when he was actually president with the 2020 election, where the allegations are that he thwarted the will of the American people when he lost that election, that he conspired with 6 other unnamed individuals to overturn the election through illegal means. They say that he put pressure on state officials in battleground states to reverse the results of those elections, that he put pressure on former Vice President Pence not to accept the Electoral College votes, and that he in fact proposed what are called fake electors to submit to Congress to overturn the election results. I'm sure that President Trump will continue to say that this is political. This case takes place in Washington, D.C., not a stronghold for him. The judge on the case was appointed by President Obama. But we'll have to wait and see, does he get a fair shake? It's important for the American people to see that he is getting a fair shake, but the allegations are very strong.
So, yeah, when you put on your lawyer hat for just a second here, when you look at the substance of these charges, what do you see? What do you see? Do you see a case here that can be made in court?
I do, John. The basic case is conspiracy, and a conspiracy is an agreement that 2 people have to do an illegal act, to do something that's illegal. And the illegal acts here are to try to stop the certification of the election results from 2020. And that was putting pressure on Vice President Trump. It was the fake electors. It was knowing, the allegations are that former President Trump knew he lost, and despite knowing that he lost, he still did all these schemes with others that helped him to try to thwart the will of the American people.
Of course, the president is saying, no, I didn't do any of that. It actually was a stolen election, or, I mean, of course, that has been proven, I think, essentially not to have been true. So do you think prosecutors, to what extent are prosecutors looking at the political impact and the timing of all of this?
Well, it's very difficult not to have politics enter into this, John. After all, we're 1 year away from the 2024 presidential election. Former President Trump is leading by a mile the Republican candidates, we will soon be well into the political season. I think the prosecutor's effort is to make it just by the book. These are the facts. This is the law. They don't want it to be perceived as political. I think Jack Smith has made a real effort to do that. But obviously, those allegations are not going to go away. I think it's important for former President Trump to get a fair shake at every step of the way. That will take away some of the edge that this is political. But those accusations, John, are not going to go away.
And the timing of it, the fact that it took until right before we go into election season for the next round of presidential elections, the people who are saying that looks suspect also have a pretty good case, do they not?
I think they do. I mean, Merrick Garland, who is the Attorney General for President Obama, he basically sat on this thing for a while, didn't do anything with it, and then they appointed Jack Smith, and there's been kind of warp speed on this January 6th investigation. So I think they have a valid claim, and I think Merrick Garland needs to answer to the American people, why did he sit on this? Why was it not a case before, but yet now it is a case?
And so tomorrow is Trump's, we only have a couple seconds left, but tomorrow is the day that he has to appear before the magistrate.
Yes, he'll have to come in and enter a plea. I'm sure he'll enter a plea of not guilty, and this case will probably go on a fast track. We'll have to see how fast that track is.
Okay. John Fishwick, thank you so much.
Thank you, John.